and her adorable little Genji, because one thing that she forgot to mention that the Windows games lack is her friendly companion turtle Genji. Now, Zune has officially said that Genji is most likely living in a lake peacefully in retirement, so we don't have to worry that he died a terrible death. We can all rest easy. This game, it doesn't have very much of a story, and what story it has is extremely confusing. Notably, the endings. I'm not going to claim I understand the endings, but all you really need to know for the story is her shrine has been destroyed and she is out to get revenge. Now, this game often gets the shaft by a lot of fans because it does not play at all like any of the other games. It plays like Arkanoid.
Arkanoid with the yin ball that you have to use to hit all the balls on the screen. And you can kick the ball, and you can get killed by your ball too. You cannot kill it. And the system goes with it.
So you can still shoot in that game, but your shots do not damage the boss. They are used to kind of eliminate a couple bullets. What you do use to hurt the boss is Rimu's Gohei, or cute, adorable Shrine Maiden wand, which you slap your yin-yang ball with, and it bounces, and you can bounce it at bosses. Though, how it differs from, it's not a straight Arkanoid clone because you're still getting shot at. How about I show a bit of it? Yeah, you can show it. The game actually has 2 routes, and you can choose which one you're going down. To go down. You get Makai and Hell. They each have some different bosses to change it up, and they have different, equally incomprehensible endings for you to get. This game only introduces 2 characters who reappear. Well, 3 if you count Genji, Reimu and Mima, and it was sold. Yeah.
As a schoolgirl.
And it was sold at Comic Cat 52 along with Story of Eastern Wonderland. Now, next up we have Story of Eastern Wonderland, which is the first proper, I suppose, Danmaku game in the series. So we get the exact same plot. Monsters overrun Reimu Shrine, and she goes to get revenge. So it's the first Current and Fire game in the series, and it introduces a good amount of the conventions you're going to see in all the other games. It really plays like the other games, but I find it's a bit slower. Reimu herself is pretty slow, but she is riding a turtle, to be fair.
Flying
She can
turtle.
fly by herself.
This game is especially difficult because your hitbox is hard to figure out, and the extra is unbelievable.
And you can't focus.
You cannot focus. The big character introduction we see is Marissa, who appears as second to final boss, and as a villain, of course, and a redhead.
She's basically Mima's student.
Yes, she's Mima's student, and she refers to her with...
Sama.
Yes.
Yeah.
Translated
And she
novel.
also has the weirdest broom you've ever seen, which is kind of a twisted flower. Can we even call it a broom? I'm not sure.
Marissa's very fun to fight in that game. She uses this elemental theme. next up, Dim Dream.
Yes.
Now, we are currently as Dim Dream characters, so you have some visual representation here. My name is Yumemi, and she is Rikako. Now, Dim Dream, once again, completely changes everything up. I feel like with the first 3 games, it wasn't decided what direction they wanted to go in, so they were really trying out different styles. Obviously, the style of Story of Eastern Wonderland was the one that kind of won out. So Phantasmagoria of Dim Dream, all you need to know is Phantasmagoria, it's a versus game. Pretty much, similar to Highly Responsive to Prayers, it was kind of a clone of another game series. I don't know if any of you are, well, I guess a lot of you are Shmup fans. The game was based a lot on the style of Twinkle Star Sprites, which is another versus game where you kind of have, the screen is split in half, and you have 2 characters going at the same time. And generally, enemy obstacles come, and I think you should show us Dim Dream,
Yes, I will show Dim Dream.
because that explains it a lot better than I ever could.
Right, yes.
Here's Rikako. As you can see, there are a lot of playable characters to choose from, and there are a lot of fun shot types to try in this game. Just show us a little bit. Show us the drum. Oh, yes, and your opponent can appear on your side of the screen. So, for a lot of people, you were probably going, oh wow, it's just like Phantasmagoria Flower View, because Flower View kind of revisited what Dim Dream did. So I guess you could call this game the prototype of Flower View, though really not that much was altered. If you've played Flower View, this plays extremely similar. An interesting fact not many people know, but this was the first Toho game that added controller support. For the first 2, it was solely keyboard. And it was released 1 Comiket after the first 2 games. You want to talk to us about this?
Yeah. Okay, so Lotus Land Story is the one
Okay.
that brought up a lot of the main conventions that Toho games now have, mainly a 6-stage setup, because Story of Eastern Wonderland had only 5 stages. So from Lotus Land Story onward, it's always 6 stages. Introduces the focus movements, which we all love and abuse so much. It introduces Yuka, which we all love.
Yuka is not a game mechanic.
She's not a game mechanic, but she's worth mentioning. She appears in her pajamas and then she gets more serious. It also introduces the concept of Gensokyo as a setting. So it mentions a land of illusion called Gensokyo, and it's starting off to develop in this concept. It was released in '97 on Comiket 54, so exactly 1 year after Highly Responsive to Prayers and Story of Eastern Wonderland.
Going back to new gameplay that was introduced, it also introduced grazing, and obviously that's very big. For those of you who may not be familiar, grazing is when you go right up to bullets and you gain points. It also was the only one, the first one to have bomb auto-collect.
Here then we have the last one, which is Mystic Square. That's the first game that you can play, well, it's basically the only game before Phantasmagoria that you can play as Yuka, and Mima too. You can play as Rimu, Marisa, Yuka or Mima, with all each different, I don't think they have different shot types, but they just have different stories, basically just meaning that demons appear out of the cave and you need to go to investigate. And I know some of those. I think Mima was just because what are those demons coming? Why are those demons coming to invade my land? I'm going to go kick their ass because it's my place. And Yuka was just bored and was like, oh, there's monster to kill. Playing time.
At the end,
Yeah.
being a cat.
Also noted that Yuka is also the slowest character movement in that game, and that became a kind of a meme for the two that Yuka is the slowest of all.